everybody. Welcome to the ASS Podcast. That's the Animation Success Stories Podcast. In case you're not familiar with what we do here, we essentially talk to a bunch of people that is an industry professional. We learn their story about how they got to where they are in the animation industry, the hurdles they had to jump, the mountains they had to climb, and the shit they had to trod through to get to where they are now. This week in the ASS. Multi-talented artist, voice actor. And he said he even worked in production, which is pretty cool. He's done everything.
My parents are going to flip out when they hear that.
We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk to Eric Bauza about his journey through the animation industry and how the hell he ended up where he is now, doing these amazing, incredible things he's doing, bringing small...
Cool. This is a very, we had pizza, and now we're here talking about it. It just hit me, guys. It's been a while since I've been on a podcast before, so I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. We know that you've been on a few, right?
We kind of work together.
Yeah.
So this is
I actually discovered you on a podcast.
What?
Yeah, it was the Grandma's Virginity podcast.
Oh, my God.
I discovered you first there and before I met you.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were on the Grandma's Virginity podcast.
He's not only just a voice actor, but he's also a celebrity on many podcasts.
Yes.
He's a multi-podcast talent.
If your ratings are down in the dumps,
bring him on
your show.
Well, we don't have any ratings. This is our third podcast. So
I'll bring you pizza. I'm very lonely. Cool. I need some place to be.
We tried treating him, but he was like, "No, I need to treat you guys."
No, I need pizza.
You're trying too hard, Eric.
We've worked on some things together.
Yes,
I know that.
a couple of shows.
Yeah. He should be the guest. He's the ultimate success.
He's pretty amazing.
This. And how are you linked to animation?
I'm not at all. I'm here by coincidence. No, I'm joking. No, I actually, before I tell you, I actually saw you once. Oh my God!
At Ralph's buying avocados.
I did. I saw you every night for about a week from your bedroom window.
Oh yeah. That was you with the safari hat on.
Yeah.
And the bushes.
There
weren't even bushes. You just had them.
I was just standing in the middle.
You had two twigs.
He's known for that.
I have no shame.
Cool.
I saw you at Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I went to one of those with my former roommate, Andrew Jones. I used to live with him.
Yes.
You know him? Yeah. Yeah, he took me to one of those, and you were in the audience, but then they ended up doing some impressions of Looney Tunes characters, and then you popped up at the end and did some Marvin.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I was like, oh, cool.
Wow.
I remember you.
I mean, was this at the John Lovitz Theater? Or
was it at, where was this? This was at the Improv.
Okay, so it had moved then.
Yeah, this was at the Improv, and I believe... I forget what the actual thing was. It might have been...
Was it Christmas, or was it before then?
It probably was before. It was a while back.
Okay,
it was a year and a half ago at this point, so it was a while ago. But yeah, it was a good time.
Rob Paulson just had a birthday.
That's
Happy
true.
birthday!
On Twitter.
Yakko Warner.
Yeah.
One of the guys. The reasons why I'm in the industry, as far as influences go, he was one of the guys that ruled Saturday morning and anytime after 4 o'clock on weekday afternoons.
That's great. Yeah, he was Pinky, man.
That was the only time you could get cartoons back in the day. Now it's there's a cartoon premiering on the side of this Boba Cup next week. Brought to you by Netflix and Amazon.
Well, now you just have YouTube, so you have cartoons 24/7.
Yeah.
There's cartoons falling out of the sky.
And there's Animate. What's that? Animate Go or Go Animate or whatever. You press the button and it animates stuff for you. Right? And there's cartoons everywhere.
We're going to be out of business.
Yeah.
I'm leaving here right now.
This is also a formal goodbye to everyone.
It's actually the series finale of life as we know it.
Trump is president, so the bombs have fallen.
We're all done. We're all done.
Those Canadian voice actors. Okay, they come here and they steal our jobs. Okay, they bring pizza. That's kind of nice. But let me tell you, we're gonna build a wall made out of ice. Okay, we're gonna make those disgusting Canadians pay for it.
The king of the north.
This actually segues pretty good into my first question for you because are you Canadian?
How did you get here?
Are you Canadian? I was gonna ask where you're from, but you just kind of implied.
Yes.
You are Canadian.
I am from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, cool.
Oh, what?
Toronto,
How come you don't
Ontario,
have a
Canada.
Canadian accent?
Because I've completely washed it out of my vernacular.
Damn it.
But when I go back to visit, it's like, oh, hey.
It comes back.
It comes back. Hey.
Nice.
We all sound like Wayne from Wayne's World.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how contagious it can get, but I think that was one of the things when I first moved here, not to there's lots of like walks of life, lots of variety of people that come to this city, not just to do voice acting, but to do what we all do. And yeah, I don't know, being Canadian, I think it has its there was so much mystery that I brought being an intern. That was like my first introduction into California. Was my third year of college. I interned at Spumco for my third year for graduating. And I was just the PA, and everyone was like, "You're from Canada?
It's so
What's it
cool."
like up there?" Yeah.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Mystery Wonderland.
Yeah. I'd be like, "Oh, well, we don't have like toilet paper. There. We just all rub our ass on like tree stumps."
They're like, does everyone like Rush up there?
Yeah.
Nice.
International
Do
anthem.
they think it was like the Yaxman from Ren and Stimpy?
How do
Oh,
you
yeah, that was a
how do
good
you feel
episode.
about Justin Bieber?
Yeah. Oh man. What a-
Oh man.
That's a whole other
Way,
podcast.
that's
Nice.
way other time.
But yeah, that's kind of how I got my humble beginnings in the U.S.
Oh, cool.
As far as like even building friendships. And I think if there are a lot of college kids out there listening, you never know who is going to be like the kid sitting next to you in class could be like the ruler of a network one
That's
day.
so true.
Or you could be, and it. That's kind of like what happened when I did my internship. The people that I met, we're talking like Katie Rice, Matt Danner, Ray Morelli, Fred Osmond, Gabe Swar. There's like a lot of really talented people.
Yeah.
That were Derek Wyatt.
This was at Spumco?
This was at Spumco like in 1999.
Pringle was there too, right?
Pringle,
Yeah.
oh my gosh! Like the, thank you for reminding me. The guy who made Flash his bitch. Seriously.
Yeah.
There were moves. There was a move called the Pringle, I think. I forgot exactly what it was, but I'm sure there's like a manual somewhere I could dig up.
I think I have that
You
manual.
have it, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible people that are now the people that are making the shows like that we all like Teen Titans Go, and it goes on.
Very cool. Very cool. So, when you were in your Spumco days, what exactly or how exactly did you end up getting that internship? What catapulted you to making that decision, moving down from Toronto, saying, I'm going to be an intern here at Spumco, I'm going to be a PA, I want to soak in the animation industry?
And what did
How'd
you
you make that
study in
decision?
college? Did you study animation in college?
I did not study animation in college. I
Okay.
took radio, television, and film production.
Cool.
There you
I
go.
was doing like a lot of everything. Like, I mean, we're still cutting like tape with like wax pencils.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Like
Wow.
my teacher was like, we had two. One looked like Harrison Ford, like a really jerk Harrison Ford, and the other looked like
You mean just Harrison Ford?
just Harrison Ford, and then the other one looked like the guy who made Jurassic Park, Attenborough, the guy with the white beard. So it was kind of funny. We had like a really nice guy and a really realistic jerk kind of guy. I'm sure he's going to be watching this. Go, yes, you're still a dick. After all these years, you're still a dick. But he was the one that was like, I was like, I'm going to go do an internship at this place called Spumco. This was years after Ren and Stimpy. And
What college was this?
this was Centennial. Actually, the campus that I studied on was the original backdrop for the first Degrassi Junior High.
Awesome!
Joey Jeremiah was at my graduation.
I love that show.
First generation Degrassi.
Oh,
First generation.
That's
the
back
only
when-
generation that I actually
non-
watched.
You watched the
Non-
original
the
Degrassi?
non-Drake.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm not
mean,
talking Drake here, Spring.
yeah, but
There's an 80s Degrassi, goes back a while.
there's one she knows. She's
It still
she's-
exists today.
Yeah, it's still.
It's called YouTube. Just kidding.
But yeah, exactly. It's everywhere.
It's called the internet.
It's Degrassi. You can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's the herpes of Canada, Canadian production. It's Degrassi. It's-
Wait, but so why did you aim for Spumco?
Okay, so I mean, in school, I studied like production of TV, and TV, much like animation, to a very small degree. There's still storyboards, when you're planning out shots for a film and all that stuff. And for the radio portion, I was like, man, I love to do voices, and I wasn't maybe that good at doing voices back then. but I knew that
I find that hard to believe.
Well, there was something about it that intrigued me. So I thought I would take what I liked about TV and what I liked about radio, and then I was like, well, it's kind of like animation. I mean, I'm not, I wasn't really, I like to draw, but I wasn't like classically trained. I did apply to Sheridan before I applied to Centennial for production, but I never really had the courage to keep going. It was very intimidating because at that point, that was when all the people were getting like with the Disney mothership would come to Sheridan and just like thunk, like suck students up through a tube and then bring them back to California. But I just didn't think I had it. I didn't think I had what it took to be in animation. So I was like, well, I still want to do something with cartoons. And I was on this thing back then called the internet. And
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Fresh.
I was like, holy crap! I stumbled upon the website Spumco, and they had a big sign that was like looking for interns to do. They were doing this web cartoon called Weekend Pussy Hunt.
Oh yeah.
It was for Icebox, and alongside Mr. Wong and. What was the other one?
Was it the goddamn George Ilker show, or was that later?
I think came later, right?
A little bit later, yeah. But I mean, George Licker was a part of that web series. But that, and I think they were talking about his John Kricfalusi's first cartoon since Ren and Stimpy, which was The Ripping Friends, and that was on Fox Kids. So I was like, oh, okay, well, they need PAs, who knows? And I remember calling in and saying that I don't know if you guys know who Kevin Coldy is, but he is over at Frederator, and he's been there for quite some time. Actually, he's one of the exec producers on the up-and-coming Castlevania cartoon that's coming out.
Cool.
But he also... Yeah, there's a Castlevania cartoon.
It's intense. It's going to be on Netflix, right? Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Netflix?
Oh, I do remember hearing about that.
It's going to be big.
Whoa.
It's gonna be huge.
I wonder if the Simon Belmont's going to be the same Simon from Captain N.
They're really, hi, I'm Pompous.
For the kids in the
It's
audience.
right there. There's I got Dan or a friend.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's Charlie.
Captain N, the game master.
Yeah.
We'll do an insert shot of that.
Yeah, you gotta get a scene of that. It's an animation cell. I don't know if you kids
Look
know
over
what that
there.
is.
Wow. Crazy
But a
stuff
bunch of
over there.
Korean women would paint those things in a warehouse somewhere. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he isn't.
For bags of rice. No.
So were you a fan of Ren and Stimpy before you went over to Spumco?
Oh,
Were
hell
you-
yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, if you're going to talk about influences, Ren and Stimpy was definitely up there. We did not have Nickelodeon in Canada. We had...
Really?
Yes.
Because we got a lot of Canadian shows down here in Nickelodeon
Yes,
back
you
in
guys
the 80s.
got... You can't do that on television, and, so
Is
on and so
Mr.
forth.
Wizard Canadian too?
You know
Or
what?
the Elephant Show may have been Canadian.
Elephant Show is... I can't believe we're talking about the Elephant Show.
Come on, we
Was
got
that
to talk about the
Skinnamarink
Elephant
Dinky
Show.
Doo?
Yeah.
Skinnamarink Dinky Doo.
That's
I
it.
sing that to my
I love
son.
that. Yeah, it's great.
It's so strange. My son
Before your
is
time,
right here.
Sabrina. It's before your time.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know this elephant that you're speaking of.
Sabrina,
We got
if you
old
guys
man
need
it
to
for a
know,
second.
Sabrina's 9 years old. That's what, yeah, if you're wondering
Sorry.
at home.
Yeah, we got old man for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. But
Story of my life.
yeah, Ren and Stimpy was up there. I mean, I loved watching old Flintstones and Looney Tunes. But going back to my cold call with Spumco.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone out there that knows anything about Kevin, is that he sounds like a mafia boss. Like, I called. It's like, hello, Spumco. I was like, hello? Yeah, I'm applying for an internship. Sorry, we're not hiring. And I was like, well, it's for school, and I'll work for free. And he was like, free? Well, how soon can you start? It kind of went like that. I mean, I flew in.
That's a life hack for
I mean,
sure.
it's hysterical. Yeah.
That's pretty great, man. So were you still at school while you did your internship?
Yeah,
It was
like
over a summer or
it
something
was
like that?
pretty much like.
How did you afford that?
Well, luckily I had family here. That was the only way that could have happened because, as you know, and I'm sure you guys have friends that move here from other places as well, and it's like I need to crash in your couch for a while.
Yeah,
And
but
it's hard.
I think Ant's the only one who's moved out here from elsewhere.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
the rest of
I'm
us
from
are kind of
Jersey.
from
I
here.
took a Greyhound across the country
You're
on a
kidding
whim
me.
to come here to work in animation. Yeah.
Holy crap!
That's
dude.
scary.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's fun.
Yeah,
Check
now
out
you
the-
have a friggin' podcast.
Yeah, check out the
Alright,
first
crazy.
episode of the Ass Podcast for the full
just
story.
You just got me to get you veggie pizza. that's power.
That's crazy, man. I just got the voice of Marvin and Margin. By
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
veggie pizza.
Oh, you're
What's
a
going-
vegetarian? I'll make a special request. Like, shit, man. You've made it.
Thanks. Eric, thank you for being here. Thank you for telling us
Thank you,
your
Eric.
amazing success story. I'm sure you inspired millions. There's millions of listeners. Millions of listeners out there that want to get into the
all of
animation.
our million subscribers.
All of you that want to take my job.
You can't do it. Don't
You'll
try.
be competing
Give up
with
now.
this guy.
It's fine. I always say there's plenty of
Oh, yeah.
room. There's
Yeah, for
so
sure.
much room.
Hopefully, you guys all got inspired by today's podcast. Thank you for
I did.
joining us here on the Animation Success Stories podcast. I'm Anthony Alfonso. This is
Sabrina Maddie
Brian Newton, happy International Women's Day.
and Nick back there.
Nick
Nick
back
right.
there. And again, Eric Bauza, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We will see you guys next time in the ass.
What? Where?